Iran would have blown up in our faces. Harley Lippman is a foreign policy and geopolitical expert, and he joins us now. And, sir, it's good to have you on the show. The Revolutionary Guard now in control. I want to start with how that changes the equation in your mind.
Well, it shows how desperate Iran is. I make an analogy with World War II. The Nazi Party became radicalized and extreme in the last year of the war because they knew they were collapsing. And that's what happens when a regime is breaking, as Iran is now. That's why we have to keep the pressure up. They are falling apart. Inflation is at 180%. Millions of people are unemployed because of the war. Their currency is down 97%. Don't pay attention to their bravado. President Trump has shown strategic resolve, strategic courage. Now we want to make sure he shows strategic resolve, and he needs to finish the job because no nation in American history has been more obsessed with destroying the United States than Iran is. And it's arrogant. Yes.
Yeah, no, well, I just wanted to ask, when you hear, I mean, the 60 Minutes reporting on the potential of 10 nuclear weapons, what was their arsenal when we decided to start making these moves? We started last summer and we continue right now. That certainly validates the decisions, because there's a lot of people, especially in Trump's own party, that have been very critical about the decision to do this. But this was obviously a regime that was about to fully insulate itself and be able to continue this behavior of theirs, horrific behavior, and probably far worse for a very long time, had we not made a move.
Right. You know, you mentioned that it may not be convenient for the midterm elections, but this is about our children and our grandchildren. America has an existential threat from Iran. Since 1979, they have been at war with the United States. And the United States has to be able to show courage, which I think President Trump is doing. Yep. Nobody else had a solution. All the people that criticize President Trump have not come up with anything better in how to deal with Iran.
Just ignore it. Their plan was just to ignore it and focus domestically because it's better for the party politically. I want to put this up really quick. This is from Galabov. He just posted this about 90 minutes ago. Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threats, and in the past 2 weeks we have prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. The last sentence is interesting. They're supposed to meet tomorrow. What do you think happens here?
Well, I think it's all bravado and bluff on the part of Iran. They can't be trusted. And I hope President Trump tries to and will successfully finish this. I think he should go after the oil facilities in Iran. You have to break the regime. And that's how wars are resolved. When you look at World War I, the Germans lost, but they didn't feel defeated. And they came back 20 years later for war. But after World War II, the Germans, 80 years later, have no appetite for war. Why? Because they were utterly and totally defeated. And that's what has to happen here. There's going to be no cheap outcome. We're going to have to defeat the IRGC for future generations of America's peace and security.
Harley Lippman, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.